Adam Schiff claimed over and over and over again during the 2-year-long witch hunt into Russia collusion that he had proof, he had evidence. If you just wait, he can't go into the details, he said, but if you just wait, he'll show you the smoking gun. He'll show you the bombshell. Adam Schiff didn't say that just once about Russia collusion. He didn't say that just twice. He said that over and over and over again.
In which the Russians offered help, which we know they did. The campaign accepted help, which we know they did. The Russians then delivered help, which we know they did.
There is circumstantial evidence of collusion.
The case is more than that, and I can't go into the particulars, but there is more than circumstantial evidence now. So,
you've said on more than one occasion that you've seen ample evidence of the Trump campaign's Russia collusion. Last March, you said you had more than circumstantial evidence of treasonous collusion with Russia.
I've certainly said that there's ample evidence of collusion.
Can you agree that there has been no evidence of collusion, coordination, or conspiracy that has been presented thus far between the Trump campaign and Russia?
No, I don't agree with that at all. I think there's plenty of evidence of collusion or conspiracy.
but we do know this. The Russians offered help. The campaign accepted help. The Russians gave help, and the president made full use of that help. And that is pretty damning.
So how many times did he say it? Over and over and over. And was it true? It was not. It was false. It was proven false time and time again. Adam Schiff is a liar. And one of the reasons that this January 6th committee is more dangerous than what happened on January 6th, 2021 is because Adam Schiff is involved. Because Adam Schiff has demonstrated to us that he is a liar. He does not care about the rule of law. He will use the power of the federal government and his seat in the United States Congress to target his political opponents solely because they dare to oppose his radical leftist ideology. If Adam Schiff is involved in the January 6th committee, he is weaponizing government to go after his political opponents. And if you want to talk about a narrative, we should pursue a narrative about January 6th. We should pursue what actually happened. If the January 6th committee wanted to prove to us that they had even a shred of credibility, they would ask questions of witnesses like, will you release the 14,000 hours of footage from January 6th? And if not, why not? Isn't transparency necessary for the American people to see exactly what happened so that there's not a competing narrative coming from the right and coming from the left so the American people can see the reality of the thing for themselves? So why are you hiding the 14,000 hours of footage? What about the January 5th footage? Footage from January 5th is just gone. It's like the footage from Epstein's cell. It just, disappeared? Did they just happen not to press record that day? It was just accidentally purged. Funny how these things happen during specific short periods of time when we actively need to see what happened. So where is that January 5th footage? Who's responsible? What happened? If the January 6th committee had any credibility, they would ask these questions, but somehow I don't expect to hear these questions come Thursday evening. What about the communications between Nancy Pelosi and the FBI? Between Nancy Pelosi and the Capitol Police, between Mayor Bowser and Nancy Pelosi? What about those text messages, those phone records, those documents that show us exactly what communication happened or what communication didn't happen because the Capitol was left vulnerable. The Capitol was left unprotected. And how could this have happened? Why did this happen? Those who were in charge of making sure that it was secure, what kind of communications did they have with the left, with members of Congress? This is something that we need to know, especially because one of the things that Adam Schiff is telling us in anticipation of this Thursday political theater is that Mark Short, who was the chief of staff to Vice President Mike Pence, Adam Schiff won't say if he's going to testify on Thursday or not, but we do know Mark Short's cooperating with the committee, but they have documents that show that Mark Short communicated with the Secret Service the day before, warning the Secret Service that the Pence team was afraid that President Trump would turn on Pence and that would create a security risk. I don't know the veracity of this presentation. I don't trust Adam Schiff, so if that's what Adam Schiff is telling me, I don't take that anywhere close to face value. I say, show me the documents, show me the context, I'll decide for myself. Your presentation is almost always a lie. But for the purposes of analyzing this is the claim that Adam Schiff is making. And this is significant because if it happens to be true, then Nancy Pelosi and the FBI and the Capitol Police and Mayor Bowser of Washington, D.C. should have all been discussing. They should have been notified the day before that there was an anticipation of violence the next day and thus secured the Capitol. So why weren't they? Where was this communication? What communications happened? What did they say? we need to know those things if the January 6th committee wants to have a shred of credibility. But somehow I don't expect to hear that come Thursday. If you want to talk about narrative, then let's talk about the structure of this protest. We all know that this protest started as a peaceful rally with President Trump outside the White House. President Trump did not incite an insurrection. He told protesters to peacefully and powerfully go protest outside the Capitol. We suspect that FBI was involved here. We know that there were Fed boys at the rally. We've all seen the video of individuals like Ray Epps who appear to be coordinating the destruction of the barriers into the protected space where crowds were not allowed into the restricted area. So what was the FBI involvement? Were there FBI informants that were embedded in any of the groups that came to protest? Were there FBI or other alphabet soup agencies that were milling about the crowd? What role did they play? Did they encourage anybody? Did they detect any violence that was going to be committed before it was committed? What did they do if they encountered this kind of plan? Did they facilitate anything? Did they make it happen? Did they entrap anybody? And no, I don't take the FBI's word for it. And no, I don't take Ray Epps' word for it. If this committee was a serious committee, these are the questions that they would be investigating. But they're not. They're simply not. They also have said next to nothing about the political prisoners who've been held in violation of their right to due process for a year. These individuals, many of whom were kept in solitary confinement based on what? The charges against these individuals are for nonviolent obstruction crimes for the most part. And yet they're kept in solitary confinement for over a year. This committee, if Adam Schiff cares even a fraction as much about democracy as he claims, then he would be outraged about the treatment of these political prisoners. But I haven't heard him say a word about them. Nothing at all. And so the January 6th committee is shaping up not only to be political theater, but proving themselves to be more dangerous to our constitutional republic and to our freedom and liberty, to our relationship between the governed and those who govern, be more dangerous than a protest that got out of hand on January 6th of 2021.